Welcome to ToV Live. It is Valhalla time, and it is time to look at more necessary, unique Heroscape Squads and Heroes. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Happy 2025 to everyone. This is our first ToV podcast of the year. Year of the Snake. Year of the Snake, although we're not reviewing any snakes tonight. At least I hope not. I don't know. Unless I didn't get that memo. I don't. But anyway. So 2025, this is ToV Podcast, episode 65. 65 of these things, guys. Wow. And there's Derek, Hobbies, Interest in Life Moments. How you doing there in the chat?
More than half of 100. That's insane.
Can you imagine when we get to 100? That might take a little bit of time. I
mean,
we're on course.
We're more than halfway there. So
I know, that's what I'm saying. We're more than halfway there.
That's
gonna keep on going.
Not out of the realm of possibility. Then again, we used to do it every week, so that was that sped up the process pretty quickly.
Started every week, like
I forgot.
For the AOA like Avalon Hill thing, but then it separated to every 2 weeks, and now it's like every 3 because I need to sleep.
So we become a once a month show. Actually, more consistent than
everyone.
Yes. Why can I think everyone?
Casters of Valhalla.
Casters of Valhalla.
Shots fired. Sorry, Mike.
I know. I'm like, hold on.
Derek, we are good. And for those of you who don't know, of course, I am Ryan, aka Tales of Valhalla, and we just got into a conversation there, and I was like, okay, we need to get to work now. And we have Sir Josiah Roguescaper with us. We have Sir Joe Crazy, and we have Sir Jeremy, the SLM Cullet here. After he hasn't been on a break. He's been working really hard. And Skateboard there. Hey, Skateboard, how are you doing tonight?
What's going on?
And yes, so tonight, just to get started, pretty much right away, we have some classic squads to go through. Heroscape might not necessarily be in everybody's cup of tea, but we like to go through all these things just to show everyone what their options are if they're considering getting Classic Scape for their collection. So we're going to get to that. We have some YouTube comments that I missed the last ToV podcast. So we're going to do some comments later, as well as doing a YouTuber shout out who's already in the chat, Skateboard. But we'll talk about that channel in a little bit as well. But how about we just here? I'm gonna look at the chat real quick. Let's see here. Derek says, and Roguescaper, thank you for the night, Irene and EJ1M to paint. They have been sent back to the community. Okay, so that's a message for you. Roguescaper.
I saw them. They turned out great.
Really cool. Well, okay. So what we're gonna do is I need to pop this up, and since we have we haven't seen our lore master in a while, so I think I'm gonna give him this first to read off, because why not? Nice. We'll just do that. And okay, so we ended last year with Dzu-Teh Guard, which I considered was like, I like the unit. It's a fun unit. And then we're going to begin 2025 with this number. Here, I got to share a screen. I got to share a screen, so I'm gonna do that.
I'm also glad that you remembered.
What? Remembered what?
To do. Are we not doing comments?
No, we're gonna do that at the end.
Oh,
we're going. We're gonna do these squads.
We're doing the extra biofacts from our lore master. Gotcha.
Yeah. We're gonna try to get much of Jeremy, because Jeremy can't be with us forever tonight.
Drain Jeremy dry.
What?
Wait, what was that? Where'd that comment come from? Or is that a comment that hasn't popped up on my thing yet? Or
no, I'm saying it.
Okay. Oh, my goodness, Joe, you're totally throwing me off here.
You have to understand that's perfect Morrow talk. Obviously, the hive demands knowledge.
Here we go.
We're like, more lore.
Okay. I think everybody can see that well. Okay, so Jeremy, go ahead and get started with this guy. Okay, what do we got?
So first of all, the most important thing about this character, the most important thing to Heroscape about this character, that is a you umlaut. Everyone say it with me, you umlaut. that
umlaut.
changes the
It's not an
pronunciation. Yeah.
umlaut?
Whoa. Is it the umlaut? If I've been saying it
umlaut.
wrong, I'm gonna be like, okay.
I
thought it was.
once again,
Jeremy,
I was like,
Jeremy,
words-
you work for Renegade.
Nice.
Every name that you say, I consider it canon. So just.
Oh
yeah,
my gosh,
yeah,
don't do
that's
that.
you.
'Cause then I will make a mistake, and then
just
it's
start
like-
making up words at this
but-
point.
Right.
Have fun with it.
But yes, the U umlaut. The U umlaut, it makes it a long sound, right? So that's why you may hear in every once in a while you'll hear duned, and that's
Mhm.
that's how you're supposed to pronounce it. It's
Right.
duned, right?
Mhm.
But most people will say dunned anyway, and it's
Yep.
fine. Again, Heroscape names, everybody has different ways of saying it. But if you've ever been like, "What's that double dot?" Yeah, that's figure we start with that because
For sure.
it is
Those
before
two-
Leviatok. Yeah, before Leviatok was the only character with an umlaut,
Kaboom.
and I always thought that was random that they put that in the game because it was like, this is sort of a game for 8-year-olds. I don't think anyone knows how to say double dot you but hey, it's there. It's a cool little history part.
It's a great way to learn what that is.
Yeah, I mean, I learned what I learned what an umlaut was because of Heroscape. I can say that. I can be like, I can say that word. I understand what it means now, right? It's the long pronunciation of the vowel. I learned all of that because of Heroscape. That's why I tell people Heroscape's a great game to teach kids because it's like, look at all these cool random things you learn, like umlauts. Like it's like wow, But yeah, just all around. Obviously, this character is also not really is one of the easier ones to get because of Worm's Return. If you know the story with the Dragon Lady, I won't go into that, but there's a lot of Worm's Return out there in the market, a lot more than the other sets. So, but we have Vidar summoned, Dune. We have the Crippling Gaze 15. Trying to roll that's almost impossible. Doggin, Hunter, Tricky, Large 4, Unique Hero, 4 life. Now, that's surprisingly lives a good while. I've played Dune before, and Dune did not die really quickly. I was like,
5 defense dice helps.
Yeah, the 5 defense. That was the thing. I was just like, this character. I can't really play this character very well, but this character doesn't die. The 5 defense is nice. The 4 life keeps it going for a while, and then I was like, man, I kind of want to learn how to use this character more, or find a way to like just throw people off because there's something about that, like the 4 life, 5 defense that just makes a character work really well. But for the most part, I think what is it? I want to say C. I think it's a C. But yeah, you won't see this character competitively as much if you play any all times, because I think it's mainly just the lack of bonding. I don't think anything except the Tricky.
There's no other dogging things. There's not
no
a lot of
doggins,
hunter
no hunting,
bonding
bonding.
or synergies.
Need more doggins.
So this character kind of
Even just hunter,
do
like that's such a common thing. Why are there no more?
Is that in VC? Is there no hunter bonding in VC?
Arctos has, I think,
yeah.
hunter enhancements.
They're-
That's it, pretty much. There's
Yeah.
no solid hunter builds.
Yeah, there ain't much bonding for this guy. Jeremy, just for like the audiosphere people, do you want to read us Crippling Gaze 15?
Yeah, let me read the power.
Okay,
It says, before moving, you may choose a figure within 5 clear sight spaces of Doomed. Roll the 20-sided die. If you roll a 15 or higher, remove all order markers from the chosen figure's army card, or cards if your opponent has more than 1 common card for that figure. So, yeah, that's when it procs. If you get that 15 or higher, it could mess an opponent up pretty bad because then they just basically lose their turn. And it's like, well, yeah, you thought you were going to move, you're not. You thought you were going to attack, you're not. I mean, it's like your entire turn just gets obliterated. And if you're really good, if you're effective, because it says 5 clear sight, so you don't even have to be within proximity. You can grab a height advantage, have Dune like gaze down upon everyone as they get closer. You're just like trying to knock out their order markers so they stop where they are. They literally can't keep moving, and then you just drop something down and knock them out or something. So options. It's a really cool character, but
Yeah.
I just wish there was more bonding.
Yeah, and I mean it's got good move, 6 spaces, and I mean its attack is
Very quick.
3. It's a fair attack. I mean for what it is, because it's a miniature that can get height, since it's got good movement, more rapidly than most, and semi-solid defense. But yeah, I think the trick is where do you put it? You know, especially like what's the delta points for this one, Joe?
880, I believe.
Is that 80?
What is delta? Yeah, it's 80. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I know at 110 that would be like, it's not really a filler. Even at 80, it's like kind of. I mean, do you foresee it like dropping even more for delta points?
It can't drop any more just because of how it does affect commons and how commons relate to the overall structure. Like, I'm actually surprised they reduced it that much. It needs to be a little expensive just because
It can
otherwise it'll be fielded all the time, and your opponent doesn't even get a play at all.
Right. It's more of a common squad type stopper then, basically, because you can affect an order marker on one common squad card, and boom, you know, it's considered ineffective. So yeah, I mean, it can work for that. I know people have used it and used it well. It's just one where when there's better things out there, it's just questionable whether or not you do want to use it. What's the and I was thinking, what's the range for crippling gaze? It is 5 clear sight spaces, so it's not like
sight spaces.
It's far, but not terribly far. You still got to get.
Kicker is it's before moving. That's honestly Dune's weakest aspect is you have to do that before you move.
Pre-position.
So you have to put about 2 order markers, one to move, the next to actually be in range if you're kind of playing him right. So that's the tricky part of him, is you really have to kind of gamble on that, and then once you commit 2 order markers, you really have to capitalize on that third one if it's successful. So it's kind of you're kind of gambling if you play this guy, and you really have to know how to manage your placement. Because if you put the third order marker on him and you get the crippling gaze, it's ultimately not as effective if you get that crippling gaze on the first order marker because of the amount of order markers you can remove.
Imagine if they just came out with a Caesar Milan. What's his name? What's the dog trainer guy's name? Caesar Milan. A type of character, and you just be like, his only power is to switch that order.
Yeah, or he just has movement bonding with all dog and heroes. I mean, that's all. He doesn't even need to attack.
Need a dog trainer, some type of dog. Yeah, get more dog and heroes and get a dog trainer out there. I mean, Justin's saying good counter for bonding armies too for this, for sure.
That'd be an awesome pirate character to have with different.
A Dune pirate, that would be fun. Recreate Dune to be a pirate type dog, and then have
puppy. To be a pirate. I'm saying a pirate that can. I want
to see Dune with an eye patch. I want to see Dune with an eye patch.
No, we got
4 eye patches.
Joe, the communication is broken down. We've been through pirate dog territory. Oh my god. Look, it's Heroscape. A lot of things can happen. So
Derek saying in the chat, Glyph of Quillivan got me a victory due to getting done in position in a successful crippling gaze 15 and kill.
Oh wow!
I think that's a rare thing though, but yeah, I imagine it can happen. That's the fun of Heroscape though.
Those victories are the best though, when you're just like, I don't know how I pulled that off, but it happened, and then you're just like, I'm going to be talking about this for the rest of my life. It's that cool.
I was thinking myself too. It would be great if this was type of a hero that could bond with, say, like Crypt Guardians, because Crypt Guardians are tanks anyway. If there was a way to bond Dune with Crypt Guardians, if there was some type of bonding synergy with them, I think that would make an effective army. Like a tank that could crippling gaze, like common squad bonding, with Crypt Guardians. Oh my goodness, that would be fun. But anyway, that's just me speculating.
Yeah, I hope they bring back this crippling gaze, maybe not as powerful, but a bit more reliable in the future, just to have a little thing in your pocket against common squads to kind of keep them in check. Because currently there's not a lot to counter order marker usage on commons, it's like the easiest part of the game. If there was kind of like a variation of this kind of floating around that always made you a little bit nervous about drafting 5 common squads in an army, I think that would just be fun to have. Maybe crippling gaze, like 2 range, but like make it a 13 to hit and 2 order markers or 1. Like I think you could lessen and lower this, and I honestly think it would just be a really fun thing for that common glut we have.
Absolutely. Be able to literally cripple and have none of the commons move the entire round, and then Zelrig comes in and eliminates all of them within the first round. There you go. Done. Game. That's game.
Dan is saying in the chat, Mr. Milan, 60 points, move 1 unique dog and move 1 unit of dogs. Actually, that would be someone make that custom, And then create a puppy common squad. I want to see puppies with rocket launchers.
And then skateboard can cover that. Awesome. Yeah. There you go.
Yep. There you go. That would be. I mean, I'm already set for furry woodland creatures. I'd be sold. Jeremy, do you want to read some of the lore on this guy as well? If you can read that, I know the text is kind of small in that.
I gotcha. The hunting hounds of Nolandia are legendary for their ability to track anything, anywhere. They are simply more intelligent and cunning than any other animals. However, these traits are not what make them ideal for tracking. It is their ability to trick quarry into doing exactly what they want that makes them superior hunters. Amongst these dogged, Dund is a sovereign. Not only is he a superior tracker, but Dund has the ability to simply paralyze his prey with fear. His mere glance is enough to stop all but the most skilled of warriors in their tracks, rendering them helpless and an easy target.
Solid.
And any other backstory with the Doggins in Heroscape that you know of?
This is what makes me sad. Nothing. This is it. We this is
that stinks.
This passage is one of these fun little Heroscapisms, right? Where they go into this narrative of they introduce a new nation or continent or place, right? We get a new name of a new place. We got a new species. We got a new concept. They're these hunting hounds. Oh, they're so cool. Mm-hmm. Who's using them? Who are these all that kind of stuff. And then they just never answer that.
Don't know.
They never visit again.
It never gets visited again. No one knows where Nolandia is. No one knows what Nolandia is. It's just there. It exists. It floats in the space of endless possibilities. And so yeah, I mean it's always fun to see that because that's the kind of stuff I grew on. But now that I'm working on something,
exactly,
I don't know. It's
we need to think about this. We need to think about this.
If it fits, I'll find a place for it. That's all I'm gonna say. I'll find a place for it. Because
I would love to visit Nolandia.
Right? It's what is that?
No one knows.
It sounds cool. No one knows. It came up in this one passage, and you're like, oh.
It'd be cool if Nolandia had instead of tree elves that we've been getting, kind of shadow elves, some kind of a different species of or race of elves to kind of go along with what we have. They kind of the Shadow Hound Masters. That'd be kind of fun to have. I'd think that.
That is pretty cool. Shadows is a cool concept.
Yeah, and like Jeremy said, it's a relatively cheap miniature to get. I know ranked at C minus, which is understandable with his current synergies and such.
Yeah, and that's just the lack of bonding, I imagine.
Yep.
It makes it really hard to.
Yep, for sure.
Rosecaper was saying earlier, for crippling gaze to be effective, you have to use at least 2 order markers. So it's that's a lot in terms of action economy. You're not
going to put all your order markers
2 order markers on one character. Yeah.
Yep.
You're
And Justin saying, I could see more Hunter synergy in the future. Renegade even teased Tammin the Hunter in Sanla's journal. This is true.
That's true.
This is true. Let's hope that they have plans for Dune, because I mean, honestly, I don't know about you, but my opinion, I mean, Dune's the best miniature of the whole game. That's just my thought.
I think he's a really cool sculpt. Just visually, he's so unique. The 4 eyes, the purplish tone, the spine, he's so distinct. I love him visually. I actually printed up a bunch of tiny Dune puppies to go along with him, just because I
Nice.
love his look so much. But yeah, like the bio states that there's like more of him. So and he's like the king. So I love to see maybe some variations on this design or some like that aren't like that thing outside. Is that like an emblem or is it like armor plating? I think he's really cool.
Yeah, he's a sergeant.
You know, and you look at the sculpt. I remember when I first got this sculpt, I thought it was more valuable than it actually was. Like you know, like ooh, I want an eBay auction. Ooh, I got this new sculpt. What's it about? You know, and then I look it up and just like, oh, you know. But yeah, the sculpt on it is incredible. You think it's more valuable than it is, unless its tail's broken off, which happens a lot if you purchase these things.
Oh my gosh,
the
amount of dunes without tails.
Oh my goodness.
Just the pain.
All the tails belong
spears.
to me, apparently. You know, so
you know, how many Salins without spears do you find out there in the wild? It's like, could we not keep her spear on at all?
But I think that's all we really need to say about this miniature. So we will move on from this. But that is taking a look at Dune for consideration for your Heroscape collection, preferably without a broken tail. All right. Moving on. Let's see here. Okay, we get the. All right, who wants this next one? I think we got Earth Elemental next. Who wants to give this fella?
Not the Dzu-Teh?
Not was it Dzu-Teh? Is it Dzu-Teh next?
Yeah, they're
Oh.
D.
Okay, I had this thing wrong.
We don't even want to talk about the Dzu-Teh. Let's just skip him.
Come on.
Actually,
When's the last time you fought against some Dzu-Teh? I mean,
this okay.
Hey, Snowfields of Valhalla comes out in February.
Yeah, we're bringing them back.
You know,
there's no glaciers.
We're bringing them. We're bringing them back.
You know, there's a reason why. Okay, yeah,
Let's talk about.
It's not even glaciers.
I didn't even have them put up on this window. So I had to I had to get them. Okay, wait. Let me catch up with the chat real quick too. Let me see if there's anything I missed. And hello to everybody there in the chat. There's a few people talking. There's Derek Skateboard. There's Dan. Justin talking. Let's see here. Justin Sanjo's obviously mind shackled. Dan saying casters have been slacking. Well, you know, casters actually. I mean, they've released they did something a little recently, but yeah, it's not as consistent as obviously some other podcasts that I can think about. Get to it, Mike. But let's see. Joe's obviously mind shackled, says Justin. Let's see here. Justin says, my brother learned basic math playing Magic the Gathering. You know, this is one thing I like actually about a lot of these games is the fact that there's a lot of math things involved that, you know, young kids, I mean, you want to learn how to play, you got to get good at, you know, adding and subtracting at least.
Sometimes you don't have to be a young kid to learn about counting by tens and fives.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. We can thank Dragon Lady for Dune's rampant availability combined with them being the best character in the game. Yep. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. I think.
No, we all talk about Sergeant Drake being one of the popular characters, but I feel like if you play Heroscape, you know it's Dune. Like,
yeah, everyone talks about Dune.
Dune's so good that he's become a meme, you know. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Dune has his own emote. It's like
Derek says it would be cool if Jeremy made a story about a Lovecraftian tentacle beast in armor that was being ridden by a grut goblin with a minigun. So Renegade had to make my dreams come true. Yeah, I think so.
Call it Cthulhu Daddy. Is that?
Exactly.
No, yeah, he is absolutely referring to that. Yes.
Let's see here. Dan says you and Sonic have all the tails. Well, you got to get them when you can. See here, Just says because Glaciers of Valhalla could be coming at a later date. You know, Glaciers of Valhalla would be fun. Okay. How about then we move on to this next one? Who wants this? Who wants this? I'll just choose somebody. I don't know. This is my show. My show. Okay, Josiah, go ahead. You're gonna deal with this.
All right, let me pull up the Dzu-Teh real fast here.
Dzu-Teh.
I'll just look at the stream. Dzu-Teh. I always call them Dzu-Teh. I don't know.
I think it's Dzu-Teh. I think that's the consensus.
It's a Chinese word. Tibetan?
Or Abominable Snowman. Yeah.
I think it's Tibetan.
All right. So they are Dzu-Teh, Dzu-Teh. They're a common squad hunters. They're wild with a medium 6. They have Let's look at their stats. Move 5, attack 4, defense 3, 75 points, which is pretty hefty. They have Glacier Traverse. If a Dzu-Teh is adjacent to a glacier mountain, they may traverse instead of moving normally. You can do this with any or all Dzu-Teh you control each turn. To Glacier Traverse, move to any unoccupied space adjacent to the glacier mountain. And if they're adjacent to a glacier mountain, opponents' figures must be adjacent to that Dzu-Teh to attack it with a normal attack. And slippery ice and heavy snow only count as one space when moving. So, interesting units there. You want me to read the bio as well?
Well, let's talk about the stats and the how competitive. And Justin says also hunters. Yeah, these are also hunters.
Yeah, hunters need some love.
Like are these how would we put it? Dog and Days. So they're more thematic than actually competitive. I think.
Yeah.
A lot. I think this is probably one of the most thematic units of the whole game. Be perfectly honest.
You want to play a snow map. This is a snow map type. Yeah.
Yeah.
With heavy snow, you have to also be playing with heavy snow.
Yeah, which is so interesting because how many characters do you know that have a power change? Because there's not a lot of alternate power, like alternate rules, right? Like other than snow, it's not like road has an alternate feature. I think snow's the only one out there that has that option, right? And ice.
That's because snow is bad.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say that right now since we're in the middle of
weird.
winter.
It's like, well, you could play it like this, or just forget about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
They've adjusted sand. I remember they've adjusted sand to quicksand before. There's like, or they've done like mud tile, where it was like, all the sand is mud, and if you step in that, it's 2 spaces.
Yeah,
but it's like
I think
scenario
that's awesome.
specific.
You can make a quicksand tile. You know, it's flat like a water tile to where
I know
it's just like
there are scenarios
grainy.
with those.
Yeah.
These guys are really fun. Actually, sometimes I play modes with like wandering monsters that are just like default to the map. So if I have like, sometimes it's like my little sister wants to hop in and play, but doesn't want to win, just wants to kill people for a couple rounds before she gets bored. I put like a squad of Dzu-Teh or like Obsidian guards like in the middle of the map, and they kind of just can wreak havoc on anyone who gets close to them. So it's kind of fun to play them like as just like, or like random NPC monsters, but they're not like, I can't imagine someone bringing this to an army unless in this weird scenario where you need to be on one side of a glacier, go 17 spaces high to adjacent to get up quickly. But yeah, I wish if there were like a 40, 50 point squad, then you could at least kind of hit hard because that's the one good thing about them. But really, they're tough to use.
Yeah, I mean, they have like Sir Gilbert can bond with them, which I mean, that's it. C through V again, since they're Huntos, you have Arctis, but that's not really much. Blah blah blah. Yeah, C- for the tiers, but
that's generous. That's a generous tier.
and yet at the same time, very difficult still to purchase, including like ice and snow tiles currently. As soon as we have like the ice and snow tiles released in a month, then I think the value of that like original set might go down a tad. I mean, it's still got Dzu-Teh with it. It might still stay the same, but I don't know. I have a feeling.
You really think that the new stuff is gonna downgrade the price of the classic stuff?
I don't know. I think maybe, possibly, because it's just being easier to access. So maybe the demand's going to be less. But then again, you might have
come with the characters.
Might have hardcore collectors might want it even more, so it might actually end up going up in value. That's actually a question I probably want to ask anybody who's like watching this on a replay or at this own individual video. What do you guys think when it comes to older Heroscape stuff? Will that stuff go up in value or less? I mean,
I've seen it go up significantly in value the last couple of months. Like it's, I'd say that it's about $10 to $20 more expensive than it was.
Since it's original, I think I'm arguing against myself to where it probably will. It probably will. And then
it's
these
just how
guys.
the market works for miniatures and stuff like that, and things like again, now that we have the information that I don't know if every market has it, but it's like the awareness that they aren't going to be able to reprint these. It's going to be like, well, now this is definitely a lot more rare. It's
right.
Like, whatever's out there is it. This is
It's actually amazing. I mean, since you guys some of you probably have seen the end of Tales of Ahau, the Aftermath Chronicles, I have a little bit of these guys.
I like them. I think they're really cool. So visually, they're really cool. I always
nice
love
sculpts.
the look of them.
They're
Ryan,
nice
you
sculpts.
could have easily just said that was movie magic, okay, bud?
Yeah.
It was movie magic.
To tell us
It's called getting lucky on auctions.
Yeah. If I was to make these guys good, I think the only way to make these guys viable is to give them a giant elementar that acts as a living glacier, that counts as a glacier on the battlefield.
There you go.
So then you can move them and then can be around him. And if they bonded with him or whatever, then they can kind of like jump around him. And that'd be kind of fun to play with.
That's so
mind blown.
My mind.
I like
that is really cool.
Okay, Jeremy, take that. You know where to take that to, so
But no, man, I don't want to. I feel like I'm just taking everybody's ideas. Hey guys, guess what I found?
Guys,
you just
picture
like
this.
literally next. You just see this. You see the next master set come out, and it's just everybody's ideas I just took, and it's put in the master. You're like, wait, those are mine. Oh, actually,
the only
really
problem
crazy.
with knowledge right there. So I think a good idea in this type of scenario is never gonna happen now because of legal issues, I assume.
Then again, just custom, like build your own custom with that type of
Exactly.
glacier type.
I did. I
personality.
printed one off. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
Literally.
Okay. Skateboard. You better contact Josiah then. He might have something to show you. All right. You want to read the character bio, Heroscaper? Go ahead.
Oh yeah, let me pull that back up.
Let's do it.
These frosty boys are cold, and they like the. I know. Let's see here. I'm the vast wasteland of the northern tundra. And I can never say this word. I always say Thalenthunk, but I know that's not right. Thalink lays a great Gendarian stronghold. Few have ever tried to oppose it. None have ever succeeded in making it to the fortress doors. For in that frozen, desolate land dwell the wild Dzu-Teh. The ivory fur that covers these beasts not only serve to shield them from the harsh cold, but also hides them from the sight of their enemies in that immense snow-driven terrain. The Dzu-Teh have become masters at using the glacial peaks, jutting from the landscape to ambush any that trespass on their land. But for reasons unknown, even to Jandar himself, the Dzu-Teh are fiercely loyal to him and have never challenged any troops bearing his colors. They're like, we love you, Jandar. And he's like, why?
Literally.
We could kill any of you at any point in time, but we're choosing not to. Yep.
Also, for Thalenk, just to mention it, that is I think it's the anagram for someone named Kathleen. So, like it's just the word Kathleen rearranged. So you could pronounce it any way you want.
Shout out.
Yeah, it's... Yeah,
Kathleen Tundra.
One of the staff members from
Interesting.
Hasbro's older days. They took a lot of people's names and rearranged it for a lot of the games.
I'm learning that a lot. So we're just gonna rearrange all of our names, make customs out of them.
I mean, that's the Heroscape. That's the Heroscape way.
Yeah.
Give me High Saj, the Kyrie Warrior.
High Saj, yeah.
Nice. But here's the thing, though. See, Craig had a very good reason why. He even says it in his thing. He's like, made up names are easier to copyright. So that's it. That's the reason why they did it. They're like, we're just gonna take your staff. We're gonna take the staff. We're gonna rearrange your letters, and then we're gonna. Those are the names that we trademark.
Oh, that's fun, though.
That's true.
That's creativity, and that's fun. I like when people do that way. Yeah, for sure.
It really is, though. It's super cool.
Well, so anything else to say about these guys? I mean.
Bring them to your next VC cheese event. Bring them to your next cheese events. They will dominate.
Oh,
make someone
yeah, I mean, for a collector's option, be like, just to have a squad of these
reverse to whip
in your.
I was just gonna say
original.
reverse to whip. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you want my five Dzu-Teh army? No, I don't want it.
Inventive Harvest says, I
This
like
is
fun.
probably
It's fun. Yeah, they are fun.
And we
it's
should
the most
say
niche unit in the game, I'd say.
we should say their delta points R60.
60? Okay.
So they went down
That's
a little.
still 20 points a unit. That's still pretty high.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. But, you know, again, if you just want them on a mantelpiece, like, okay, these are the original Dzu-Teh from the classic scape, then yeah, I recommend get them just to, you know, have them show off. I don't know
if you
want a bunch of
some
common
good
squads
glacier
worth,
maps, like
yeah.
they could do all right there, but
a winter
you really have to rely on those
a winter
glaciers.
themed Heroscape, you know, battle literally.
Yeah.
So, but again, if you're gonna do common squads and you need like 4 or 5 squads of these guys, maybe get one original squad and then just 3D print and paint the rest of them.
Yeah,
more economical.
What I'm gonna do.
An arm and a leg.
For sure. But it would be fun
guys
to
are
actually
pretty
have some type of theme competitive event to where you needed, like, it was all like ice, snow based maps, and then you would have to have Dzu-Teh in at least one squad of Dzu-Teh in your army, or even have just Dzu-Teh just randomly be all over the board, and you have to you know, some type of scenario to where you either have to battle them or befriend them or something like that. That would be actually a fun scenario. Someone write that up.
You got to control the Dzu-Teh on the board with your X order marker. Like that's like, there's fun for scenarios. Like if you want to have like a fun Dzu-Teh stronghold and give them the advantage, and you have to take over them. Like they're right for scenario play, but not for competitive play.
Yeah, for sure.
Because last year, I was at a Massachusetts event, and it was a special event where not every character, but I think all characters, maybe all characters, it doesn't matter. There was a special rule where everyone had a ranged attack, and I don't remember the exact stats, but it was a ranged attack that there were snowballs, and you could throw snowballs. They don't do any damage. What they do is you push your unit away. So that could be something that we could potentially use for like a snow map, and have the Dzu-Teh like do these range attacks that are just kind of minute and annoying to deal with.
Yeah, but very limited, but definitely. I mean, if you consider yourself a true hero escaper, you need at least one squad of these guys just to put on your mantle, just to be like, yeah, I got them for sure. But that's taking a look at Dzu-Teh for your Heroscape collection consideration. All right, now moving on. Now, what's next on the list? Joe, can you remind me?
It would be the Earth Elemental, since it's EA.
Okay.
It's in the game.
I gotta find it. EA. It's in the game. Joe, do you want to read this one then?
Sure. It will be Earth
Don't
Elemental.
say that too much.
Right.
They might trademark strike us.
Oh boy. well, okay.
We'll
No,
get
this
DMCA'd by
is Earth Elemental. EE. It's in the game. There you go. I don't think it's as effective.
So our Earth Elemental is an elemental, a common hero, a construct. He is fearless at a medium 5 with 1 life, and also 1 figure. That's apparent and obvious, but I guess for our audio listeners, there's only 1 figure here. It has 1 life, a move of 4, range of 1, attack 4, defense 4. And then he has 2 special powers, a special attack called Earth Slam Special Attack, range 1, attack 3. Any non-flying figure adjacent to this Earth Elemental is affected by Earth Slam Special Attack. Roll attack dice once for all affected figures. Each figure rolls defense dice separately. And then they have underground movement. Instead of moving normally with an Earth Elemental, you may immediately place it on any empty non-water space that is within 4 spaces of that Earth Elemental, and is no higher than 1 level above that Earth Elemental's height or 3 levels below that Earth Elemental's base. If an Earth Elemental is engaged when it starts its underground movement, it will take leaving engagement attacks. Which I didn't realize that the underground movement was an original power.
Yep. I mean, I think they made it better with some certain Vord that hopefully will be coming sometime in the future. Renegade.
I was thinking of Ashidulu.
Oh, okay.
From DC. I didn't realize that. I thought that was an original power from Ashidulu, not that it was from the Earth Elemental.
It was from the Earth Elemental started it, yeah.
Shows how much I know. And you know, here after reading Earth Slam, you know what's interesting? Because it says any non-flying figure, so that means that even though you place flying figures on the ground, they're just still hovering.
Yeah. Unless you mean for them to move, like you got to announce, like, you know, they're not flying, because some movements they can take, but like, say if I think it's if you're like walking on road or something for flying, you have to, like, if you're going to use the road, they have to walk, you know, or they have to walk.
Yeah.
So
no, they just jump over the shockwave really well. That's
I guess, yeah. Because, like, even so, it's like, well, if they're just hovering the whole time, then they should be able to just stay on lava.
They're flying over the road, and they're just like, this makes me want to go faster.
Yeah. Well, think of it this way. Hovering is not the same as flying up in the sky. You know, like, that's... You know, a hovercraft does not just shift itself over a mountain with no problem.
Fair.
Although Justin's saying the worst elemental, so, you know, I think there's a...
I've never played with the Earth Elementals, but 4 attack, 4 defense,
probably why.
And throwing in and assuming that you're moving and attacking with 3 of them, if you do a whole Earth Elemental army with what's his face? Why can't I never remember his name?
Kurok, the elemental.
Kurok.
My favorite competitive player. I use him
like
way too much.
Earth Slam's pretty dope, and being able to do underground movement is kind of dope too.
Yeah, it's really good if you it's a good counter draft unit. If you know your opponent's fielding Romans or some kind of pod unit, you can just kind of go in there and slam them all down.
Earth Slam is great for squads.
Yeah, because you can kind of find a little hole in that pod, like arrow gruts. You can kind of get in there, slam them all down, kill all the arrow gruts in one turn. But for the most part, you compare this guy to like the water element, like the strength of the water elemental, the stagnation of the air elemental, or the damage of the fire elemental. This guy's just kind of there. I just call him the thing.
Sure. And I don't even know. Did I mention that they were 35 points? I don't remember. If
35 points. Original. And Darkleaf is making a point. What are their Delta points?
Delta points is 25.
Okay, so yeah, Darkleaf says good when it's discounted. Bad. Otherwise, others are just better. Unfortunately, I mean, if you're playing Delta points and you're using an elemental army, if you need a filler, you know, just for one maybe, then, you know, maybe possibly. But yeah,
still doing like a Dzu-Teh or something in that points. Kill one person or a little tiny squad and then die.
Yeah, but if you're using Kurok, you can't summon the
Dzu-Teh. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
At least
if you have 25 points left over in Delta, though, like it's not terrible, you know.
It's just a screen at that point. Hide behind the Dzu-Teh.
So I have a question on underground movement. What does it mean? Does height refer to the height it's standing on, or the height of its like medium 5?
It would be where it's going. So,
so we go one space up, then.
It can't go one space up. Yeah, because it can't be higher than one space from its base.
So SSB.
You get a bonus move up. Like you can move that. Like if you were to move the elemental one space up, activating underground movement, I think that's possible. But it's like it's only one space up. It can't be anything more than that, or 3 spaces down. So.
And since this is placing a unit, do you don't go through each individual space, right? So if you like pass over a unit, do you not take leave engagements? Like,
no, it's just initially if you
are next to someone,
once you're underground, you can go past everybody.
Okay, so that's a fun little. If you're not engaged, you can kind of get around some tough little barriers of things like you want to fight with. There's a little bit of utility there. It's just not the best.
compared to the other options, it's like
Yeah.
pretty just outclassed at that point.
Worst oddity bunch. Yeah, correct the elementalist. Correct the elementalist. I mean, and
And
VC's not
I'm just
even
a
mentioned.
Firestorm. Yeah, I'm just obsessed with Firestorm. So I'm like, sorry, Earth Elemental. I was that meme. I don't want to play with you anymore. It's dropped the Earth Elemental.
Although they do give a B- on the tier. I mean, Cleon actually gives it tier 4, which is not great.
Good
But
stats.
Risk give a B-.
I mean,
Yeah.
3 attacks of 4 is never bad, or 5 because you probably can get height better too. So it's not terrible.
That's nothing to scoff at. Like,
I like him at 25. I don't like him at 35.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So Darkleaf saying, is there a way to get these guys higher moves so they might be nice tech, but they're really slow? Yeah, for movement of 4. Yeah, they definitely are slow moving.
yeah, but they're not just because they have a move of 4, but being able to go underground and try to gain a little bit of height with that underground movement and get around, let's say, a unique hero or maybe a few squad guys to get that 5 attack, 5 defense is just like, I mean, I know you guys are like, obviously anything that's points lower is better, but I feel like 35 like I said, the attack 4, that 4 is a good number to roll. Like, if you're ever rolling 4 dice, I feel pretty confident that I may be doing damage with that.
All right.
Well, Joe, do you want to read the lore, which is very, very brief?
Yeah. It's probably pretty standard too, right? Like, let's see.
I think so.
So not only can the Earth Elemental burrow underground and pop up in a new location, he also has an Earth Slam special attack that is deadly disruption to a frontline defense.
Yay.
Wow. Thanks, Truth.
Sure.
That is
Wow.
not an official. That's from
Truth.
Truth's. That is Truth's version of that.
He's just
Does that drive you crazy to know, in Jeremy, those missing lores? Does that just drive you crazy every night? You go to sleep, you just think about them.
You know what? You know what drives me actually crazy? Not like, the missing bios, definitely.
Yeah.
The biggest problem, I don't even get to touch any of this stuff because of the trademark, and I'm just like,
that's
like
the thing.
That's the part that
D&D
sends me
escape
into my battle rage. Like, I cannot touch any of this. Like, I can't. And I don't know. I don't think it messes with anything, whatever legal. But I literally can't even mention these guys in the news stuff either. Like, that's how hard the trademark is. And I'm like, that sucks. Like, they're all here. They exist. They're right there. They're present. Trademarks are more powerful than canon. So
this is why we say darn wizards.
The D&D figures is so perplexing.
Is the wellspring water? Is that what you drink that and you just become a trademark? Is that what that is? The Valkyrie are just trademarked?
No. So the Valkyrie, that's trademarked to Heroscape itself. Like,
okay.
The Heroscape game gets that, right? But like the trademark specifically Dungeons and Dragons. So like
right.
The for Toriel,
the
the planet can't be mentioned. You can't mention. So just to put like, what's some other examples? The Drow. We'll never ever get to mention the Drow again. Just that's out of the picture, right? That kind of stuff. So it's just like knowing they're there, but not being able to say anything about it. Like, just having to pretend it never happened. It's so annoying.
It's unfortunate.
I'm just like,
I wish they would just decanonize it so we could just pretend it never happened. But the fact that it's just kind of there as like a vestigial appendage, like, oh yeah, this all did happen, but we can never talk about it again.
We can never, because legal. And I'm like,
And I mean, let's talk about like acquiring like a lot of these elementals too. Is I mean, well, the cool thing is, even if you can't find original Heroscape elemental, D&D has their own miniature molds, which are the same practically as these. So you can find them on eBay or whatever, and then just rebase it, or not even have to rebase it. You just use it. So there's your options there. Always 3D printable. I mean, this would probably be easy 3D print and paint.
This is the easiest unit to paint in the whole game.
Oh, yeah,
just
for
so
sure.
you know.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
One solid color.
Yeah. I mean, who knew a rock could look so good? Just got a nice little sculpt there. But yeah, I mean, with that, not much more needs to really be said. That's been said. I mean, there are better elementals out there.
Zero synergies.
Yep, zero. It's just
Imagine
correct.
that.
Just correct.
Oh, that's right.
Correct is
Karak.
the man. Correct is the
Although
man.
if
Or
you
the
do kill
hobgoblin.
someone with the Earth Elemental, you have to say it's clobbering time. That's required by law.
That is-
So
This is true.
That
this
makes
is
sense.
true. Yep. All right. Well, that's taking a look at the Earth Elemental consideration for your Heroscape collection. Okay. Now, before we move on to the next one, I think, Jeremy, you have got to go, sir, don't you?
Yeah, kind of. Well,
You're thinking it's like
got one
you're
left.
thinking,
I mean,
can I
that's what I'm saying. We have
it's like
one left.
He wants to
That's
stick
what,
around
like,
for Einar Imperium because he's like, I can give lots of
so
more for this
cool.
one.
They're so cool. Who's sworded? I mean, who's never imagined themselves dual wielding at least once? Like,
Yeah. Well, okay.
they are
Dual-wielding's
the
the best.
dual wielding faction. So
Well, how about I just read through this and then we will. I mean,
then I'll
just
go to
let us know when you need to bow out, Jeremy, and then we'll just do it. So, okay, the Einar Imperium. Obviously, it's in the name, Einar, part of Einar. They are Kiri. They're a common squad, soldiers, discipline, medium 5, 1 life, move of 5, range of 1, attack of 3, defense of 3, 140 points originally. They have a thing called double attack. When each member of Einar Imperium attacks, he may attack 1 additional time. Has stealth flying, and I'm just going to read it for those on the Audiosphere audience. We should all know what stealth flying is, but I'm just going to read it anyway. When counting spaces for the Einar Imperium's movement, ignore elevations. The Einar Imperium may fly over water without stopping, pass over figures without becoming engaged, and fly over obstacles such as ruins. When a main member of the Einar Imperium starts to fly, if he is engaged, he will not take any leaving engagement attacks. All right, what can we say about these guys?
So pretty much these guys are, if you have to go to the Masquerade at 7, but also work at Abercrombie and Fitch at 6. Like that's
Love it.
Yes.
Love it.
nice.
they can do a lot of damage, but you really struggle to get to that point. I've played them in like 1,000-point games before, and they massacred.
Sure.
But in standard classic points, it's really hard to get them online.
Well,
Mhm.
and one of the
I
biggest
think,
weaknesses is the bonding synergies.
Yeah, it
It's like-
reminds me of because I want to say Craig is it's part of that like list of questions. Everyone's like, why is Taylor so expensive? That kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he mentioned at some point some of these characters were designed for bigger point games. Like sometimes you're not going to have a good time trying to run them in your traditional formatting because they're meant for those larger scale stuff. So just based on that, what Roguescape was saying, and then just looking at it, it's 140 points.
Delta,
He's
they're a
the
bit
most
cheaper.
expensive common squad. Yeah.
Yeah.
In Delta, they're cheaper, but like that's the thing.
110, I
Most-
think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's still pretty pricey, regardless. Like for a squad that you want to get multiples of, it's a lot of points to spend on just that group. So it's like really hard to make it work because once you spend enough to make them effective, then what else? What do you have left? At that point,
Yeah.
you're like,
What'd you guys say what their Delta
Actually,
points were?
they're 100 actually for Delta
110.
points.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, they're 100.
100.
They're 100 now. So 40
100.
points off, which not terrible.
100 points. I might field these guys. Put Atlaga and Marcus in there. You got 7 flying units. That's something I would consider. They have some fun synergies for sure. They boost up that speed.
And me and Joe were talking about this last week too. I mean, Joe was mentioning that you don't necessarily need
The heroes.
the heroes for these guys. They could just be their own army by themselves. Theoretically.
In Delta
You
points,
give
you
a
could
bunch
just
of them.
straight up take 5 squads of these guys.
Yeah.
And probably
Yeah,
do pretty
Delta.
good.
and just mow. Oh, and Jeremy, I don't know if you could do me a favor. I think I have a spammer on Twitch there. Thank you. I know you can do it now. So.
I got you.
You're my Twitch wrench. So thank you. But yeah, so I was thinking. I mean, they are slightly difficult to like purchase financially. Because they're sought after. They're sought after because they are unique sculpts. And I mean they're a Kiri common squad. So you do need a bunch of them to be effective with them. I
was hoping in the new Kyrie box we would get more Einar Kyrie, because we don't have any Einar units in the game right now, and Kiova helps these guys out, and more Einar Kyrie, the more you can build an army out. But you can even have 1 or 2 squads of these guys and keep them in the back, just for the last part of the game and wipe people out. But it's not. I mean, there's better use of your points, but it's an option.
Stealth flying, though, I mean, makes you consider them a little bit more, though, just slightly, because if they didn't have stealth flying, if it was just flying, then I think their value wouldn't be as strong either.
I feel like stealth flying was a specific design choice just to kind of balance out the expensive cost, because it's like regular flying. That means, they would die so fast.
Right.
You're like, try to get. Oh no, they're dead. Yeah, because that's the thing. Stealth flying it's one of those really interesting, like just that small little tick allowing you to be able to not take leaving engagements gives you so much more effective like strategizing ability with that character.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, Cyprian, he has stealth flying. He becomes annoying because of that, because it's like, oh, I'm getting hit, time to fly away. Oh, I'm getting hit, time to fly away. And then it's like you're chasing him on the board, and then it's that being able to pull people away, like kind of like control their movement, because you're trying to you're taking away their target, so of course they're going to chase it, and it's like you can do that because you don't take leaving engagement. And then flying just lets you jump through elevations and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really nice power that gives you a lot of options.
They can move, although the move of 5, I mean, they can't move very far. Unfortunately,
right.
Move is 5. 5 is pretty standard.
It's standard. It's standard. I mean, if it was
Come on,
4, it would be
that's not
worse. But
you're making it seem like it's utter garbage to have
well,
move.
the thing is, there are other common squads that can move faster. That's the problem. So,
Sure, but they don't all have stealth flying and double attacks.
This is true. This is true. I know.
You just got to bring Marcus and Atlaga and every army with these guys.
Even if
and they are like for current or what's listed here for power rankings. I mean, C- across the board basically for these guys. I think it's just because
cost really does.
Yeah, I think it's just because there are better common squads out there that are usually played. These aren't usually considered. So
for anyone that goes to ScapeCon, or goes to events, and people have been playing the Templar recently and just dominating games, I feel like the Einar Imperium are the next untapped, army combination. Like,
though Delta points on.
Well, the Templar are only like 30 points in Delta, so that's really the.
Yeah.
No, they're like 80, but still.
But like they were really low, and then they went up because they were doing so well. People were like, because the whole point of Delta too is to give some units a chance to be played more in different formats. So people were like, oh, I could take Templar, that would be cool. And they take it, find out they're really good, they are really fun to play. And everyone starts to play them, they do really well, and then Delta goes, all right, we'll have to go back up now, because if you kind of got, this is why, I guess this is why they were that point value. So
I think these guys have a lot of potential in certain formats. They just 6 attacks from a single squad a turn is don't have to. I think these guys have the potential to break away from the standard X amount of squads. Like you can have like 2 squads of these in your back pocket if you have kind of a solid core and just kind of like clean out house at the end of the game.
So it's 18 attack. It's 18 attack dice per turn.
Yeah,
too.
That's crazy.
That's a lot.
Not including height, or if you have Marcus, you can get that soldier enhancement bonus. So you're attacking, 4 or 5 if you set yourself up. But that's that's hard to do right there. But I wish Kyovo was better for these guys. I wish that's really their biggest weakness is like she just like why would you waste a turn making like one attack of like 4 or 3 with her, bringing her up, and she doesn't do much. You know, like Kyovo just needs a bit more attack potential or defensive potential to make these guys kind of like worth drafting her. Because I always just drop her whenever I play these guys.
Yeah, if they had a bond to where it's like, okay, if you move these, then you can move them. You know, they just ain't there.
Yeah.
So it just, and I would even give it like a higher point value just to add that in too. I would sacrifice that if that was the case.
And then even a full turn just moving Kyovo so she kind of stays with the pack would be nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it kind of
I
sucks.
Or even like once
play
a
with
turn.
that.
Yeah.
Not every army needs to have a bonding thing. Like just like using Raylan in any army. Like you always move her out first, put her in a good range. Because I mean, the gift of the Empress is 5 clear sight spaces. So that's the same as Raylan is. You just have to. You could just be in that era, and they can re-roll defense. That's that didn't roll any shields. I mean, that's pretty good. Like, I mean, sure. Let's see. I'm running with Delta right now because I think Delta is like the best way to play. So right now, if I take out Marcus and we just look at Empress K-Over, you can take 4 Imperium and Empress for 475.
There you go.
And throw in an Earth Elemental, and you're good.
There you go.
Why not?
At 25 points, solid. Solid.
You got yourself a general army right there. Because Earth Elemental's Einar. So,
but once again,
you have to be willing to let these guys die. Like you really have to. Like, all right, they're gonna go. You have to play them almost a lot like the Vipers. Like they just are gonna go in and chew through things, and then they're gonna die. Right. You know, like that's kind of how you have to envision them. But Vipers are only 40 points or however many points in Delta. These guys are still a bit heftier for that. So you really have to maximize every usage with them.
For sure.
Right.
Just makes it questionable competitive, which is, I mean, I'm just stating the reality. This is why people don't usually choose them. But let's
slog into the C tiers right now. That's
again, it's like C minus. Yep.
If I can grab some of these guys, use Empress, and go into a General Wars, I'd definitely try this out.
Yeah, for General Wars, I mean, why not? Just have fun with it. But here, let me go. Let's look at lore at these guys, because as opposed to other miniatures that we're reviewing tonight, we can actually talk about probably something about these guys. Okay, let me read the character bio here. Even though it's in yellow, it's very hard to see. Among the rolling hills of Linz of Farm lays the heart of Einar's empire, a gorgeous gold-domed palace built on the shimmering surface of Mirror Lake. The splendor of that sight is unmatched in all of Valhalla. The very air glows with the golden image reflected off the water. A long bridge, lined with rows and rows of golden arches, leads out to the palace. Under each and every arc. Oh, sorry, did I say arch originally? Arc. Or is it arch or arc? I'm sorry, I'm stopping myself here from this read.
I think
it's arch.
Arch, okay.
Arch for architecture.
Gotcha. Okay, under every arch stand 2 bronze-skinned Kiri, members of Einar's elite Imperium. Every member of the Imperium is loyal, disciplined, and altogether exceptional. They stand alert at their posts, their dual blades crossed upon their chests. And what chests they have, I tell you. Covering their faces are varied masks made from the same extraordinary pure gold used in the building of the palace. Mined from the nearby hills, enter the valley unbidden, and you'll find yourself quickly surrounded by an entire legion of these soldiers. Fail to turn back, and they'll not hesitate to cut you down where you stand. And Derek says competitive bah humbug. Okay, well let's explore the lore of these guys first, though.
Yeah.
So interesting, Kiri. You know,
it's the one thing I've always, and I'm asking this as if it's like, oh, I can't go figure this out for myself at some point. But yeah, the one thing that has always interested me is Einar is an Imperial, right? Like
Mhm.
they always have this. He has an Imperium. He's described with an empire. But that one question I've always had is like, what did what did he conquer? Like, what was it that made him an emperor? And I don't think that ever really got explored, like what he took over that made him an emperor. Because that's the thing. In order to have an empire, you have to have a vassal state, right? There has to be something that had been taken over. So it's like, what did Einar take over, and why? What is like this golden palace he has, all this wealth that he has. I mean, if you go into the Thorman journals, you can kind of read that whole passage when they introduce it. I mean, he's loaded. He's pretty. This man has so much wealth in the middle of one of the worst wars in the galaxy, and you're just like, how? Like, how is this possible, dude? You're rich. You're an emperor. You're like, what is all this? Where is this all like? And it's just they never explored that. So
Mhm.
I'm just like, Einar, maybe you're not as great as everyone thinks. All this gold and conquering and So I've always been curious about that. But yeah, this bio is really cool and kind of exploring a little bit more. I guess like Valhalla stuff, like what
Mhm.
goes on the planet itself,
The different
and then
cultures of the Kiri.
yeah, the different the different aesthetics, different nations
Mhm.
that are involved here. And then so this is a whole new culture in itself. That culture of like super hardcore military discipline, crust. Like that's what they're looking like. They're just standing there, just
Mhm.
waiting for something to happen. That's intimidating.
I have a chip on my
But
shoulder. I dare
Yeah.
you to knock it off.
right. So
I
yeah.
do really appreciate how distinct they made all of the individual Kyrie tribes in Valhalla. They
Right.
all have very unique culture and inspired both by their own writing and real life counterparts. You have kind of uh, all coming together. It just really, I think the Kyrie tell a lot of stories and in this
Mhm.
game just by their visual presence. You look at the Imperium, you like know their presence in this world kind of instantly, which I think is really
Mhm.
cool.
Mhm. Sure. The sculpts and like I think yeah, Justin was saying I think he was saying this. Some of my favorite sculpts in the game. Yeah, they are
Oh
very
yeah, they're
very
crazy.
nice. Yeah, they're very nice. Some of those original Heroscape minis just got the just perfect.
Yeah, the
I'd
sculptors
say yeah.
for they used to have are just they use such dynamic posing and really
Mm-hmm.
interesting
Whoop.
angles to really tell stories.
Okay. Might want to check your audio there for a second, Josiah. I think you cut out
No,
for a second, just so you know. Um, Not a huge technical difficulty, but I did notice it hopped out. Okay, well, and again, getting these guys, like, say, financially, what would you say? Like, I mean, they're not horribly expensive, but at the same time, it's going to cost you a pretty penny to get, like, since they're a common squad, to get, like, some squads worth. Um, so I would say like question your investment if there's other competitive armies that would be better competitively for you. Get those. But I mean, if you got a thing for like the imperial nature of the Kiri, then yeah, I'd say probably something that you should pursue. Like I said, I don't know. I have this thing about double attack. I don't know if it's just because I mean Sylvaris has something similar, with his firing of arrows, but that just I always like when you have like multiple attacks on a turn. It doesn't take any like special dice roll ability. You just do it, So that's an appealing thing for me personally. So anything else we want to say about these guys?
I was just looking to see if I can get it from Shrexy 3D. Yeah,
Nice.
I would say
I like
Okay.
I like playing things that aren't normally played.
right.
No,
I
that's
generally
fine, yeah.
I generally like finding armies that are just so different that I normally see. Just because I've seen stuff that I don't normally see and was like I mean I'll always say that the rock army, the Granite Guardians and Warden 816. That was an army I saw in ScapeCon 22, and I just thought that was just such a cool combo. A robot and a bunch of rock people. Such a cool thing. And I just don't see it as often as I'd like, so...
Yeah.
I'd say if you're going to get them, get a bunch of them, you know. Get some 3D prints of them and get like 4 or 5 squads worth. Then you might be
literally...
somewhat effective.
No, absolutely. I literally just looked it up. I mean, I already have one original copy, so if I wanted to go get 3 Trexy 3D prints, it's like $32.
There you go.
So, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And they don't look that terribly difficult to paint, you know. So,
yeah, I'm
5
good for
colors,
proxies.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm good for proxies. Yeah, I'd say. I mean, personally, I like them. Like I said, just because they got double attack. I'm a sucker for those types of abilities, and as much as like I was reminded from one of Dog and Days' videos that 20-sided die roll doesn't necessarily mean that you should ignore a unit. It just depends on how you play it. But the fact that it doesn't, nothing's dependent on a 20-sided die roll with these guys, I think it just helps them out a little bit more. They're predictable. Yes, they can go down easily, but you just got to manage through them, like you were saying earlier, Josiah. So I guess that's all we really say about these guys. So here's taking a look at the Einar Imperium. And just that name in itself just is cool. I mean, personally, just there's the Valkyrie General's name right in their descriptive line. But anyway, that's taking a look at the Einar Imperium for your consideration for your Heroscape collection. All right. Now, before we move on to YouTuber shoutouts and comments, I know you have to probably go, Jeremy, don't you?
Yeah, I gotta get going.
All right, for sure. Before you bow out, why don't you give what do you guys do before you leave? Totally escaped my head. Plug your channel. There you go. Yeah, plug your stuff.
Yeah.
Plug your stuff. Yeah.
I get that. Well, Eslam Collate. You can find me on YouTube and Twitch. I have done a few things. I took like kind of like a extended holiday break. I needed a little reprieve for a bit, but we're getting back into things because, of course, we mentioned earlier. Well, we didn't get to mention it, but I'll mention it now, real quick before it bounce. February 21st.
February 21st.
Very important date because things happen that I'll eventually get to talk about. So, yeah, everyone should be there so I could talk about the things finally. But yeah, no, I'm super excited. It's gonna be a good time to be able to finally kind of like talk about some stuff I've been working on. And yet I've been able to work on Heroscape for a little bit now. So it's like that's what I do. I do that. I also do my own lore stuff. I do a bunch of other lore stuff for other video games. So if you just like narrative and talking about nerd stuff, check out my stuff because that's what I do. So, but I will catch you all later.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Have a wonderful rest of the show. Enjoy the rest of the stuff.
And keep in mind, Jeremy is our lore connection with Renegade because he works for him. Actually, you just got something approved from him, didn't you? Can you mention that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the
big
thing. It's like, yeah, February 21st. Just mark that. That's when.
That's when he can say something.
What I've been working on, I can point and be like that thingy I worked on. Yeah. So that's gonna be
awesome.
Really exciting. I'm not sure. I don't think because like later on I'm gonna be able to work on some other stuff because they have me written down for like not just bios. Like I'm gonna be able to work for like scenarios and back box text and all kinds of stuff. Like at some point there will be a box that I will have been able to write. And it's gonna be crazy.
Awesome, man.
Just that's what I'm excited about. Be able to point to these things and tell you what they are after knowing what they are for so long. And I'm like, oh, keeping my mouth shut, not being able to say anything to y'all. Crazy. But yeah, no, it's gonna be good.
Cool, man.
February 21st.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you get rest, sir. You take care.
Appreciate you. You all have a wonderful evening. Take care.
Later.
See you.
All right. So, well, we can move on. Let's do YouTuber shout out first. How about that? We got it up here. So okay, Skateboard. I'm gonna give Skateboard a shout out, and again, link in the description below for everything we're talking about, even some things we haven't talked about tonight. There, link in the description below. Check out all those links. But Skateboard only has one video out and just released 3 days ago. Literally, it's funny how me and Joe were talking about, okay, what other content creators are we going to expect this year? Because they've been popping out last few years. Josiah has been one a couple years ago. Like Hexala was one like last year. And now this year we have a new one just off the bat, Skateboard, and very unique YouTube channel. I'll just put it that way. And the first video that they have there, it's specifically talking about something that no one has really talked about on the Heroscape YouTube channels, at least not on this detail, which is Heroscape custom creations that aren't official. They're just people's individual custom creations, which is subject matter, again, that hasn't been talked about. And I like the amount of thought and detail that Skateboard brings into the information of these videos. It puts a lot of thought into creating these, a lot of good editing work, and I was really impressed with just this video. So Skateboard, if you're out there, definitely subscribe to his channel. Give him some love and watch. Give him some views. I think he's got something very unique going on, and just keep on going, because I'm kind of nerdy, just like looking at the different stats and scenarios of even stuff that's not even official. It's just good fun. So definitely give him a subscription. I think he's earned it.
I'm sure he'll do some other stuff as well, but yeah, going over more of the customs, not even talking about the C3V and SOV, is really, really awesome. Because there is, I don't know how to say this, vast amount of them.
Yes, there is.
So
I'm not going to run out of material anytime soon.
It really opens up this idea of that hopefully you learn and appreciate the amount of time and effort people put into their customs. And I'd love to, Skateboard, if you're out there, I'm giving you a suggestion here. An April Fool's video talking about some of the goofiest customs out there would be great. Thank you.
Just do a quick eBay search. It's not hard to find them.
Make it a tradition every year, April 1st. You could even just be like, this is an official character, April Fool's. But no, I think just going to find the goofiest ones, find very like meme-ish, and just talk about those would be great too. There you go. But very cool. I'm really happy to see so many more people come out of the woodwork and talk about Heroscape and going into these different realms, because I thought that at some point, because I kept, you guys know how I talk about the stack that I have, stuff like that has been in the stack for a very long time. And I'm like, I'm so glad I could finally take things out of the. So.
That's my plan, is just hold off on things long enough for someone else to make it. Slugger just made a video about the generals, and I was like, I had this on the list for a while, taking this off, because that's been development hell forever.
Beat you to it.
Yeah. There's only so much all of us we can do, so it's very cool.
Yeah, and it's something that it's funny how when you think that we're all tapped out of creativity, someone else comes in and just like blows the water on that. So yeah, I'm happy with that. And the way that Skateboard again edits his videos, it's very unique and it's very fun. It's a lot of fun, and I do appreciate it. It was, yet still being informative. He knows what he's talking about when he's reviewing, at least for this video, reviewing these cards that we have no clue. But I'm just like I said, I'm nerdy. I'm just like, ooh, look at this. Ooh, that's actually a unique way of using certain characters within that. So. Let's see here. Inventive Harvest says, "Forget that. We need more Joe crazy videos." Oh, I totally agree.
Truth,
I
truth.
totally agree. I totally agree. Joe,
Yeah.
so are you working on that stack though?
Yeah, I'm actually going to be filming something this week. I was going to do it today, but my motivation was very low. So,
well,
my whole week my motivation has been low, but I finally got around to doing some stuff, and I got some ideas. So I'm going to be recording something tomorrow.
listen to the Heroscape metal song. That'll get you motivated. Listen to that music every day.
I need you guys around more.
Yeah,
I haven't played the darn game. I haven't
true.
played since ScapeCon East. I really haven't. That was in November. Yeah, that was in November. So that was early November. I have not played a game of Heroscape since then. I need people to play with.
We get it.
Oh.
Well. I mean, and I don't mean for Joe to like lower the mood or anything, but Skateboard, check him out, and let's transition.
Go check out Skateboard
here. Okay, I'm just going to, we're gonna hop out of this, but yeah, definitely again, give Skateboard a subscription. Definitely earned it. All right, I'm gonna exit this one out and then get another one, and let's just do a few comments before we close down for the night. I just gotta here.
I do like doing this stuff at the end. I think this is a nice flow.
Right.
I know this wasn't part of the plan, but this is kind of nice.
It gives us room for tangents without feeling like we're actually stepping on the content of the show, which is nice.
Exactly.
We just roll with it. That's kind of what we do here. Okay, wait a minute.
Much like the Isaacs of old, we just roll with it.
Exactly. Hey, Josiah, that's another meme or a T-shirt. We just roll with it.
Oh no, that's what I have developing is just roll with it.
Just roll with it.
I'm working on the art for that one. Yeah,
that would be awesome. Okay, comments. I think it's this one. Yeah, there we are. Okay, so since I missed we got like 3 comments to go through since I missed from last time because me and my brain forget things. Okay. So, and I'm no particular order here, but because we were talking about Dzu-Teh guards last time, and it's from first comment from Lucas, saying if Dzu-Teh guards had a double attack, I think they'd jump a better grade in my book. Otherwise, I do think they are C+ at best. And this is me from saying that because last podcast when we were reviewing Dzu-Teh, I was saying I'm like, wait, they're only at this level. I think they should be up just, a level or 2 more. I think they're like undervalued, just for the fact that I've played them a bit with like Joe, what army was I talking about a few weeks ago that I now forget?
You're talking about an army of Dzu-Teh guards that isn't. That's not what we're talking about?
No. The Dzu-Teh synergy that I put him with. It was with Evil Raelin, Levy Attack, and what was the squad?
Oh, because they're relentless. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Death Knights.
Death Knights. There you go. Yeah. Since they can synergize with Death Knights a bit, it's a fun army to put like say with Evil Raelin or Levy Attack. Either or with them, and they're just good fillers, fun fillers to put with that army. So I don't know. I mean, I still personally think they're undervalued. I mean, I can agree with what's being said here. So C+ at best. I still think C+ is still a point up. So I guess I can agree with that. I still think they could be a strong B. But if Dzu-Teh guards had a double attack, I think they would be kind of improved upon up. But then again, I don't think they'd be 15 points, delta points either if they had double attack. So there is that too. But yeah, so that's a discussion we had, from last podcast. My love of Dzu-Teh, and their sculpts and stuff. So, all right, moving on to the next comment, and this comes from I don't know who this person is, but saying the perpetual struggle of how to keep Heroscape safe from toddlers. Mine loves to tear maps apart, preferably by stomping if possible. Thankfully, I have a bag of random Rise of the Valkyrie figures, which totally keeps him occupied. Yes, and I did this a lot with my son. Actually, just recently, I had to take away all Heroscape stuff from my son.
No.
Yeah, because I'm a dad and I'm terrible dad, But anyway, you want to throw some Heroscape stuff kids' way. Yeah, just like, okay, I have like 10 multiple, figures of these. Okay, you can have these, and if they're destroyed, then no big deal. Even with terrains, it's like, okay, here's some terrains. You break them.
One advantage of the new Renegade terrain, that stuff's pretty much indestructible. I don't let my toddlers play with that. I get them like a bag of army men or like old 3D prints I have, and just let them go to town with that.
It doesn't work for my son much anymore. He wants, like, he sees like a picture of a Heroscape miniature, like, and it could be like anything from the new or the old, and he's like, I want that. I'm like,
he wants the real McCoy. He's like the people in the community, like, official only, no 3D prints.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he's going to be 7, like come next summertime. He'll be 7. I'm hoping within like a year or two I can start having him play the game, actually, because it can work for that young. I'm not sure yet, but it's going to be soon. And then maybe we can get them focused on, being competitive. We'll see. But yeah, when they're younger, yeah, it's the especially have a lot of Heroscape stuff. It's young kids, if you break them, well, if it's like your Zelrig, yeah, that's an issue, because I know Jeremy just left, but I know he had a Zelrig, and I think it was a dog actually, that dog or a cat that chewed it up. Yeah, that's that's not good. But yeah, you definitely don't want your kids to touch your Zelrigs or anything like that. And that's like, I know there's a meme actually for a Zelrig going out to where it's like, you mean this Zelrig or this Zelrig? And it's like just some like plastic model that looks like close to the Zelrig, But the thing is with kids, especially if they're still young but old enough to know the difference between a fake and a real, they'll know you're tricking them. And so they're just like, they're looking at you like, that's not going to work. Anyway, thank you, Garanex, for that comment. All right, and last one. Says, from Jonah and Jello, says, fun discussion. Their sculpt is very similar to Blackheart's, and talking about Dzu-Teh again, because we kind of talking about Dzu-Teh quite a bit, last one. Their sculpt is very similar to the Blackheart's Heavy Tackle from Battle Ball. Interesting. Same sculptor, I believe. Ah, okay. I have 10 Dzu-Teh guards. I should try fielding them all at once. Happy New Year's, guys. Happy New Year to you, Jonah and Jello. Hope it was a good one for you. I never heard of Battle Ball. What's Battle Ball? Actually, I probably have seen it. I just don't remember it. Do we know about that?
You've probably seen the miniatures, like the Gladiatron, like they're the things that are inspired, like the Gladiatrons and some other figures in Escape.
Okay.
So
it's similar to like
it's just
Blood
kind of
Bowl?
like a skirmish. Yeah, a little bit like that.
Okay.
I've never played. I just know it's a kind of a skirmish light sports fantasy battle game type of deal.
Okay, I can see. I mean, I can see the Dzu-Teh being like that for sure. They kind of look like they're approaching it for a tackle, and with the spikes all over their bodies, that makes sense. And shout out to whoever sculpted the Dzu-Teh guard, because that's a very good sculpt. If it's the same person. So yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you, Joan and Jello, for that comment, and that ends our comments for the night here. I'm gonna just get something set up here. We gotta set us up to close, and then we will give our plugs and be done for tonight. Just an hour and a half. I feel like we should go longer. We did 4 units though. We just went through them pretty rapidly tonight. Which that's.
Wait, you said an hour and a half?
Just an hour and a half. Yeah, an hour 37 minutes.
That's kind of where you wanted to be, is it not?
Yeah. But usually I just feel like we go longer. Sometimes. But yeah.
I mean, look, I want to talk to you guys for the rest of the evening too, sure.
Yeah,
But
you know, what do we expect from Renegade the con coming up? There's some big announcements. we can drop some big questions.
The thing
I
is,
mean,
though,
honestly,
we all have significant others that are probably like looking at their watches, going like, I just know it. It just that happens anyway. Joe, why don't you plug away, sir?
sure, I'll plug. I got my You want me to unplug my computer?
They don't do that. I mean, you can do it later, but not right now. Not right now.
So, all right. Yeah. So, yeah, once again, I mean, just like how Jeremy was saying, like, I'm coming off of just such a busy holiday. So, I mean, trying to get myself back together, organizing the house, getting that all settled, even though we've been in here for 2 months. But, I don't know, trying to get myself settled into a routine. I feel kind of out of sorts, and like I said, I haven't played Heroscape in like 3 months. What is it? The end of, let's say, all of it was EscapeCon East was in the beginning of November, so let's just count all of November, December. So 2 months I haven't played. I haven't rolled dice. I've been playing with the terrain and stuff, but nothing. But I got videos, I got ideas. So don't worry, it's coming out. Just give me some time to set everything in stone, because I'm hoping, fingers crossed, pray with me, guys. That once I get the ball rolling, it'll still roll, and it'll just turn into a giant boulder, and an avalanche will ensue, because I have a lot of footage and I have to write a lot of scripts. So. Big year, but gotta give me time. I gotta get myself together. I'm only one man. So, with that said, I will pass the torch to Josiah. Go ahead, bud.
Yeah, I was out of town for a bit. I was out of town for 10 days over the California. I'm back here now. Now that I got home and got snowed in, so I've had a bit of free time, which I needed. I think, working a lot, but I encourage everyone to run Dzu-Teh from today. I think that's the highlight, is run Dzu-Teh and Doomed for meta army that no one suspects, no one will see coming. I got some stuff in the works. Recent video I uploaded was a great interview with our very own Ryan, Hills of Valhalla. Really great stuff. Definitely recommend that you check it out on my channel. After this podcast, I'm finishing up the finishing touches on another painting tutorial. So if you want to get your Kaladurva painted, definitely be on the lookout for that. I got some other fun things. Again, the script writing is where things start to fall apart with me, just because I get so granular with it. But I just finished all of my Wave 1 and most of Wave 2 and part of Wave 3, all of those figures. So I'll probably be making a video about that experience. So if you have any questions or just want to know any information, so I'm happy to make stuff up. So be on the lookout for that. And just great seeing everyone, and back in the swing of things. A good start to the year. I yield my time.
Yeah, getting back at it. You said you were visiting people in California. I hope everybody's okay there currently.
Yeah, they live on the north side,
okay.
So they should be fine.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, prayers and just thoughts to everybody out there who's suffering through just the horrible ordeal that's going on out there currently. Hasn't been a great couple of months for this part of the world, really, when it comes to weather disasters, unfortunately. So
one half's frozen over, the other half's the exact opposite.
Flooded over, basically. In a lot of ways, it's yeah. So yeah, hearts out to everybody out there affected by all these things happening.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, because there's a few YouTubers that I follow that do like tech stuff. Mm-hmm. And there was one guy that just literally lost his entire house.
Right.
And I'm like, bro.
So, yeah.
I don't even know where I would start with that. Like, I mean, I know the guy's got an office that he keeps a lot of his PC stuff, but I can't imagine, like, I know people in the community have lost Heroscape stuff before, mm-hmm. and it's incredibly tragic, but I don't even know where to start. So
I
yeah,
mean,
prayers out to those guys out there. It's terrible.
I mean, I personally view it as like the most important thing you can have is your own life. You know, as long as you're healthy, as long as you're going, even if you have the will to continue, you know, at least that's something that you can hold on to. But yeah, for sure, just keep on trucking out there, everybody. And let's see here. I'm just going to give a quick shout out to everybody who's commenting on stream tonight because I had a few comments. Derek, of course. Good to see you, Derek. Skateboard for a second. Dan there. Justin. Always great talking to you guys. And then a few new commenters I don't think I've seen before, at least not recently. Initiative Harvest. Thank you for your comments. Dark Leaf.
It's Inventive Harvest.
What did I say?
Initiative, I think, right?
Oh, that's right. Okay, I can't even read the writing. Yeah, Inventive Harvest. Apologize. And let's see here. Anyone else? Not that person who was commenting on Twitch who was spam. Yeah.
Spam with eggs. Spam with spam.
Yeah, and yeah, Skateboard keep on hexing. Yeah, for sure, Skateboard. And you keep on making your content, Skateboard, because I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more with you. But yeah, and I am Ryan, aka Tales of Valhalla, and on this channel we talk, sometimes on the podcast about Heroscape, sometimes we talk about Heroscape scenarios, whether it's official, and now starting this year, sometimes just what the community is making up. Me and Josiah had a fun time last Sunday reading through Iceman's scenario. That was really well done. I think he's even written up something else recently. He said he was going to do something for a few months, and I was like, I see something else popping up on Renegade's site. But yeah, lots to look forward to this year. Definitely, like what Jeremy said, February 21st, and I have a feeling this year is going to be a fun year. It's going to be a fun year.
Big.
Yeah, I think so.
Can we just kind of pray that it isn't a 2-part release like they just did before? Can we pray on that, please? Because of how nice that sounds at first. Right. It's actually torture.
The waiting.
I didn't like having to pay for shipping twice to get Q11, but
that's what I'm trying to do now. Like, I want to just do 2 orders so I can get 2 of those guys.
Yeah.
But also, I really don't like that.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It'd be great. I'd like to talk more about maybe an after show about what we expect and what's gonna happen with it. Some pre-conjecture.
You know what? Yeah, let's bring it to the after show.
Yeah, backstage. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, get on that Patreon, ladies and gentlemen.
Or become a YouTube member. You can do that on YouTube because YouTube is now. Tales about YouTube channels now monetized in the last few months.
Do that because the YouTube memberships are pretty dope. Yeah, I really like that system.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, it's set up as best as I can right now for that. So yeah, if we can, we will. Or if you can, you will. I mean, subscription, review, and comment is ultimately, I mean, some of the best things you guys can do. Membership or whatever is just icing on the cake if you're willing to do it. And you can even do a lowest tier. You get the backstage. That's the first thing you get. Lowest tier, you're automatically into view that stuff. So. But with that, I say I don't know what I'm going to do this Wednesday. I guess stay tuned next Wednesday or this Wednesday, and you'll find out. But with that, thank you all for watching. Good to see everybody there in the chat again. You have a purpose in your life. Find it, pursue it, live it, and we'll see all of you next time. There's no music closing this out, so it's just going to be a really, really blank close. Bye.